Silence! You are behaving like chickens in a basket. Remember who you are. You are Victrix, undefeated. We will win.
The men are unsure, Legate. Especially now that Aquilinus left us. Many are having second thoughts.
No one will come after you. But know you will die as cowards.
We must be quick and deadly. The Legion must move in and take control of the city. Don't be naive. We have broken one of the oldest and most important taboos of the Republic. We are invaders of our own city now. I think he made his reasons abundantly clear. Maybe. But what if you can't? I understand the choice you have made. I get the idea of temporarily sowing chaos to instill order in the long term. It's a price we have to pay. But don't let Caeso's life be a part of that payment. We've all been through too much together.
Disbanded, as Victrix was meant to be. What we've done breaks with all tradition.
He's not the only problem. We'll need to control public opinion. Eliminating the dictator will not be enough. We must take care of the Pontifex Maximus as well. As the religious leader of Rome, he has the power to mobilize people against us.
I think he's not your biggest fan. You know he's held a grudge since the Hacia campaign.
Keep in mind Cotta is an Optimus. What we've done goes against everything he believes in.
Everyone believes in one god or another. Point is, people listen to him. Only him and the Vestal Virgins are allowed to enter the inner sanctum. But old traditions didn't stop us from bringing Victrix across the Rubicon, so...
We can be very convincing.
It's a good plan. Once Cotta is out of the way, there is no need to worry about the opposition he might drum up against us.
Once we're ready, we'll need to secure the Senate with overwhelming force and neutralize Vitellius Lurco. Agreed. This will never be over as long as he is at large.
It is very likely that the Senate will be full of senators. Vitellius Lurco might use them to shield himself. Keep in mind, we may also encounter ordinary citizens trying to protect the Senate against our assault. Careful. Not all who side with your foe are truly against you.
I believe there's not much else to discuss. The longer we wait, the more we risk failure.
I expect nothing but surprises.
You don't enter the arena expecting to lose. We will win, as always.
I believe there's only one way to find out.
The risk is great. But if we win, to rule all of Rome, that would make it all worthwhile.
As you command.
I should have expected this. You are an arrogant bitch with no respect for our traditions or the wisdom of our founding fathers. What about all the things you have done? Are you willing to burn down the Republic? The only threat Rome needs saving from at present is yourself. All this bloodshed. And for what? The lesser of two evils. Is that you? Not the best way to stir a man's heart, but I can be pragmatic when necessary. I shall yield.
With the Pontifex Maximus out of the picture, our legion has been able to enter the Pomerium. Victrix now controls all roads leading into and out of Rome. That's troubling news. I'll put the word out among our centuriones and gather more information about this. If Ferrata is mustering, we'll have a big problem on our hands.
Wise words, Domina. The city is still not under our complete control. As the current consul, Lurco remains a formidable threat. Our actions have forced even those who hated him before to take his side.
There are many important men now trapped in this city, with good reason to move against us. Politically, or even militarily. Let's hear some names.
He commands no less than 4 legions in Hispania. If he somehow finds a way to bring word to them...
We need to take him out.
Or win him over.
If possible. He's a shifty one. There's no knowing where he might be.
I'm told he hides in the Campus Martius. Perhaps we can pay a visit and rid ourselves of him for good.
It seems like Gowinus would prefer to be on the winning side. That we can use to our advantage.
Are you kidding? There's no way Caeso will support you after what we've done.
Then we must take them out as well.
Let us not rule out any alternatives to violence just yet. Given a compelling argument, we may sway the senators to join our side.
We don't have much time. We'll have to split up.
You are needed here, Legate. Our true quarry awaits us at the Senate. We have preparations to make.
We should think carefully about who we send where. We may yet be able to solve this situation without bloodshed.
I can do that, yes.
I have been looking forward to ending him.
I should hope so. I have come to know them both quite well over the years.
I have a feeling the end will be messy. We will need all the help we can get. We control the peripheries of the city, but the inner districts are still putting up stiff resistance. Clearing a path to the Senate may prove very difficult. Valete, may Fortuna be on your side.
Salve, Cineros. What a pleasant surprise. I expected your domina to send an assassin.
I would disagree. If the virtuous represent an obstacle to those of lesser virtue, surely it must be clear that the less virtuous would benefit from the death of my dear friend Cato.
Are you trying to get me killed?
I'm merely stating the obvious, leaving no room for a nasty surprise. Old Cineros here might be a healer, but those who deliver health also have the ability to withhold it.
Very well. I am intrigued. Make your case. Loyalty is a virtue, but loyalty to a dishonest person may be the same as being dishonest. Or worse. You mean to say that ends justify the means? That could only be true if you consider actions in isolation. Each wrong action can lead to unexpected harm no matter what end your goal is. It never makes sense to reach the right decision yet take the wrong action. I don't believe your domina is an enlightened woman. What a miserable situation. I don't want to kill you, but I certainly don't wish to die either. So be it.
Almost at the end of this, it seems.
How did you get past the guards? I had archers and lookouts everywhere.
faster they fall.
It's too much! I'm not getting paid enough for this. Halt!
What is the meaning of this? Who are you? That is very kind of your Magister. Give him my regards. I assume there was another reason for you to kill my guards, then? Curious. Especially considering Vitellius Lurco is the consul of Rome. Why should I support your rebellion? Be that as it may, your legatus is also a criminal, and the evidence for that is somewhat more compelling. Need I remind you that you are the perpetrators of an ongoing occupation of Rome? I don't. I'm just watching the situation unfold. At the end of the day, the winner will make the law. Fair enough. But is this a reason to rebel against the Senate? Your skill in rhetorics is quite impressive, Gladiator. Very well, I shall refrain from interfering. But your legatus will have to pay for the heads you've collected here today. You've certainly made your Magister proud, at least.
The hour of reckoning is at hand. A grim task awaits us.
It's time to formally declare martial law. Not every citizen will take kindly to that, I know I wouldn't. So let's make sure we control the market when the news is read. There'll be more than just civilians. Our enemies will do everything they can to fuel the flames against us.
Many of the senators who still oppose us employ gladiators for their own protection, and other less moral purposes. Of course, they all have their own lictors as well.
Depends on how fearful they are. The more cautious among them will hold their people back, to defend their own villas or to fortify the Senate.
There's more. We've received reports that individual men from Legio Ferrata have taken up arms against us. We believe they have retrieved their equipment from the Gallic War.
Indeed. Ferrata are thugs and farmers, not career soldiers like us.
They have been to war, just like us. That counts for a lot. We also don't know anything about their numbers.
Our legion and theirs did not exactly get along. But still, our people will not be happy to fight Roman legionari.
Let's just say there were some dissenting voices. No one will hear those voices again.
It's a revolution. As I understand, these things rarely happen without some bloodshed.
A declaration of martial law is just so many words. It means nothing unless we speak from the very heart of Rome. We need to be at the Senate.
The consul is holed up at the Senate with his remaining supporters. It may be the most heavily defended building in the world at this point. But you're right, Surway. That's where we must go. Only those few who have taken up arms for Lurco of their own initiative. Unlike Legio Victrix, they were disbanded as per tradition. It would be very difficult for Lurco to quickly muster his forces.
I would really think thrice before underestimating that man, Prime.
To the best of our ability. There are just too many streets to control. Rome is a huge city. The Forum Romanum and the rest of the Capitolium is still contested.
Easier said than done. Sure. Lurco fortified himself at the Senate, and what awaits us is probably the toughest fight we have ever seen. But that's no reason not to be cheerful about it.
The Forum is heavily fortified indeed. Our legionari are trying to keep the Capitolium secure, but the consul called upon the citizens of Rome.
They are eager to defend their republic, with their lives, if necessary. Best of luck to us all.
In their eyes, we're nothing but bandits now. We must make our declaration of martial law near the Senate.
I agree. A group of us should be tasked with protecting the newsreader. Otherwise, if the people don't silence him, the consul's lictors will.
Sounds fine to me, but those brave fools from Ferrata still worry me. We need a dedicated group to run interference in case they crash our party.
The most difficult task will be the main assault. You must fight your way through all their defenses to reach the Senate. Today, we will fight to the death. Tomorrow, they will sing about us. All right. Time is of the essence. No more talk. You have all heard the legatus. Prepare for the final push.
Good people of Rome, martial law is in effect for the safety of all citizens. Groups of more than 3 men shall not congregate in public spaces. A curfew is in effect. Any person found on the streets after dark will be subject to summary judgment.
That's preposterous! Who is making these decrees?
Long live the legatus of Legio Victrix.
I'm a citizen of Rome. We have rights. Down with you and your legatus!
Vitellius Lurco is consul, not you. Your decrees are worthless.
Seeking only peace and the unnecessary shedding of Roman blood, Webius Vitellius Lurco has been publicly implored to accept truce and lay down his arms.
Take your truce and stick it up your ass! Let's show them how we feel about their curfew. Who's with me? Oh no.
Form up! Protect the newsreader! That's right! Please protect the newsreader!
You're nothing but common bandits!
Did anyone see where she went?
Those legionari, those are Ferrata's colors. Lurco's men are here.
I bet if we kill enough of them, the crowd will disperse.
You're right. We may not even need to kill the citizens.
to go on! Join the fight! You're missing out!
I need aid soon, lest I perish.
You're missing the fight!
Get in there!
Seems like the other team has things under control.
We have a task. Let us focus on it.
We can slip in here, through the alley. There's more cover that way.
Our catapults will make short work of those barricades on the corner.
Advance! Get him down from there!
Curse you all! I'm not going down like this.
It's not safe! Who's there? Get away from me! Me, and I shall vanquish our enemies. Keep up with me.
until you see the whites in their eyes! Follow me for Rome!
We have arrived!
All the gods run to the Temple of Saturn! Enjoy the taste of Roman steel! to go on!
Let us crush them together!
I will handle this alone, if I must.
We can't win if you die.
We just need to reach the Senate. Problem here.
Does this hurt? Good, that means you're fine.
Not that I need any help, but...
I have your back.
As soon as I see them. Cover your angles. They will not take us by surprise.
You and your tyrant legators!
I require help.
Here you go. Be careful next time.
Fine. You can help me if you want. Come on, admit you needed that.
and we shall be triumphant. Arise and fight on, fellow warrior! I've got this direction covered.
You maniac! Watch what you're doing!
Fall back! We're all
We're supposed to be on the same side here!
That did not hurt at all. You'll feel my wrath if I ever get up. You useless mules!
Try to avoid this happening again. I may be in a bit of trouble. Here you go. Be careful next time. Help me, friends!
Keep up with me! Aid me, and let us shed blood together!
Try to avoid this happening again.
Mars, take you all! Who's there? Get away from me! Fall back! We're all gonna die!
Won't refuse some help. Push through the pain for Rome.
I'd appreciate some help. No permanent damage.
I shall slay many of your foes.
Please follow my finger. Yes, you'll be all right.
We're losing! Mars, take you all!
To Tartarus with this, I'm getting out of here!
handle this alone, if I must.
We can't win if you die.
This is almost boring.
Someone to help me here.
You are mostly fine. Get back into the fight.
path is clear. The Forum Romanum is ours for the taking.
Nothing stands between us and Lurco now. Are you
Good. Let's go kill a tyrant.
Respect the sanctity of the Senate. Leave now or you will regret it.
To Tartarus with this! I didn't expect armed soldiers. I'm getting out of here.
You do that. I'll take care of this. We've been waiting for you. I hoped you wouldn't come. Foolishly, perhaps. Whatever's necessary. You have already crossed the first line. I will not let you cross the last. I do remember what you did for me, and I'm grateful for that. Maybe you're right. But what you're doing here now, it's not right. Not even your reason for doing it is right. I have to stop you. Perhaps you're right. I don't know anymore.
His confidence is wavering. Keep pushing him. I think he can be convinced.
Xeneros is a Serwis. He will go where you tell him to go.
I have faith in the judgment of my Domina.
Don't let her silver tongue talk you into abandoning your principles, Centurio! Remember who you are, what you stand for. We will defend the Republic together.
The Republic? You killed some great men to get control of this city. Cato, Cicero, yet you left Pompeius alive. No politicians and lawyers to get in your way, only generals, military allies. Is that right? You offered them an olive branch, and they refused. Admirable. Yet, in the grand scheme of things, their deaths didn't even slow you down, did they? Very well. I shall fight with you. But know this. The moment you turn into a tyrant, I will be the first to stop you.
Never trust a traitor, my father used to say. This will not change anything, you know. Just give up. I will let your friends go, and grant you a merciful death. No one is laughing. You think you can murder a consul in cold blood and get away with it? They will crucify you. Surely this can't be your plan. Not even you can be this reckless. Nothing you do here will change a thing. Even if I die, you lose. At least you'd save the honor and standing of your family, and not be branded a traitor in the annals of history. I suppose you think that honor will be yours.
I'm conflicted.
A true king is a servant of his people. You are a servant to your vengeance. That's the only reason you're here.
on! Let us be done with this.
These people are so weak. There was no glory in this battle.
Maybe we have gone too far.
History will not judge us kindly for this. Come on, let's deal with that son of a dog.
Can you not hear the angry mob outside? Can you hear the cries of the helpless that you swore to protect? When will you understand that everything you fought for... What is happening?
The roof is falling. Seek cover!
The fury of the gods.
Is everyone all right?
We're all fine, but not everyone in here was so lucky.
We have to get out of here.
He will pay for everything he has done.
You mad woman! Will nothing make you see reason? Come then! Claim your vengeance!
Lure them closer. I'll shoot as soon as I see them.
Everything I did was for Rome!
us fall back! I cannot abide by this any longer!
There will always be more obstacles for me to conquer, and I will conquer them!
I barely felt that. Hades cannot contain me. I think some of this is my blood.
Not as bad as it looks.
Aid me now, please!
Come on, you big sucker!
Help me, and I shall help you when you are in need.
Does this hurt? Good.
Perhaps I need someone to help me here.
It's all right. You're going to live.
Republic! Without my efforts, you will succumb to sectarian corruption!
Certainly, all attempts at democracy they can and will be conquered. Without you.
Didn't see that coming, huh? Come on! Know when to quit!
I still got it!
This is bad.
Silent all of a sudden, huh? Can anyone heal the healer?
Come! We shall fight side by side.
Please follow my finger. Yes, you'll be all right.
To torture us with this, I'm getting out of here!
You've been dreaming of this since the day your father died. By Jupiter's beard! When will you finally understand it never was about you or your sad excuse for a family? I had plans. Great plans for Rome. The Republic is crumbling, but the establishment always hates the revolutionary. Your father was a spy, a tool of the state. He fought for the status quo. I was forced to eliminate him to save Rome. Maybe. What's clear is that somebody must take charge. The point was never becoming the king. It was that Rome needed a king in the first place. Someone who could cut through the endless dogshit coming out of the Senate. The blatant tribalism, the spiteful self-sabotage, the bribery and greed. We need someone who is willing and able to make difficult and unpopular decisions. Clearly. It doesn't matter if you kill me. In fact, I'm content. You are clearly a better choice to lead Rome. It seems the part I intended my role to be in molding the first emperor of Rome. When I am dead, your reign will begin.
It's finally over. It almost seems unreal. The beginning of what?
You have violated every single rule we set out to protect in the first place. You have killed Romans. Senators, even.
Caeso was right. You do sound like Lurco.
We must submit ourselves to the judgment of the Senate, as we discussed. Only then can we begin to undo some of the damage we have caused.
Are you stupid? Did you hit your head in battle? We will all be killed.
Not all of us. She will probably be condemned to death indeed, but we will not be punished as harshly.
We should not get punished at all. We should take over Rome and live like kings.
The Anira is right. Surrender will only lead to execution.
But, Magister, surely morals dictate that she should surrender. Doing anything else would be immoral, and thus make her a lesser woman.
She's like my own child. She would be a lesser woman, but a woman who is alive.
They will not just let us go. We all attacked.
Well, I certainly do not want to be executed.
May I remind you what you have just said about the expected behavior of a moral individual?
I don't consider myself a particularly moral man yet.
I don't care about the philosophy of it. If you stay here, more people will die and the chaos will never end. We don't have to turn ourselves in if you're afraid of the consequences. I'm sure Cleopatra will protect you if you flee to Egypt. Don't do this. I'm warning you. I did not help you stop a would-be king, only to replace him with another.
My debt to you is repaid. I certainly don't owe you any support if you try to overthrow the Republic. It's clear there is no changing your mind. Perhaps this was your goal all along. Well then, this is goodbye.
For what it's worth, I hope you rule the city well. Wale.
Wale, my friends.
Take care of her, Tabad.
You are always welcome here. If you change your mind,
So it was that the Republic of Rome, which had long rested on an unsteady foundation, was finally torn to the ground. From the rubble rose a new, strong empire. Though the institution of the Senate was maintained for centuries to come, all power was stripped from it and granted almost in full to the new ruler of Rome. Perhaps it was fitting that a society which had always been built on patriarchal virtues was in the end undone by a woman. As much as the old guard loathed her, the first empress was beloved by the people of Rome, for whom life universally improved under her rule. As she built Rome up from a regional power to an empire spanning the continent, she came to be revered almost like a goddess. Old Cineros, the most beloved Servus of the Empress. Though he was free, he would not leave the side of his domina until the day he died. He lived many more years in luxury and leisure, with access to the finest works of philosophy and visited by great scholars from near and far. Freed of his domestic duties, he even found the time to author a great work of his own, a treatise on the topic of regret and forgiveness. Though its contents are lost to time, we must imagine that its completion brought him great satisfaction. Caeso left Rome with Locura and their daughter. They traveled to Africa, as Caeso remembered the warm nights and the lush Nile Delta fondly. Here they found a place to settle and made a peaceful home for their family. Though their relationship was distant at first, their devotion to their child drew them together, and their affection for each other grew stronger through the years. To his surprise, Caeso took well to fatherhood, and soon he and Locura had many more children. Despite her redemption in the eyes of the law, Callida at first left Rome to travel. Exhausted from her role in bringing about the fall of the Republic, she needed time away to clear her mind and ground herself again. Eventually, she returned to settle down in Rome, where her connection to its new dictator made her more safe and free to live her life on her own terms than she had ever been before. Still, she remained distant from her old friends, and she never again got involved in politics nor warfare. Bestia settled down with his beloved in Rome, where he found a job training and caring for the animals of the amphitheater. A quiet life of luxury and simple work seemed to suit him surprisingly well. Together, they had many children, some of whom went on to have long and distinguished political careers of their own. As soon as things had quieted down, Bestia traveled to Africa once more to look for his sister. He did find her and bring her home, and she lived happily there for the rest of her life. Once everything had settled down, Deianira returned to her homelands in Scythia, where she reconnected with her family. She brought some of them with her back to Rome, where they settled into a life of luxury. Though they would never feel quite at home in the city, they found that it was much easier to be outsiders together than alone. Deianira always remained loyal to her friends. Claudiana lived for many more years. She had many friends in Rome, and her life was peaceful and comfortable until her final days. On her deathbed, she revealed that she had once been very close indeed with Lucullus, and that indeed the true family name of her children was Licemia. Pompeius left Rome and returned to Hispania. There he became the focal point of an effort to wrest Rome once more away from its new ruler, with an eye to restoring the lost republic. The great general and his supporters raised 10 legions and marched upon Rome, where they were destroyed in a humiliating defeat. Pompeius then fled to Egypt, where he was murdered by an unknown party upon his arrival. Defeated once more by Rome, Mithridates escaped to the lands north of the Black Sea in the hope that he could raise a new army. But the locals soon rebelled against his rule. Incapable of taking his own life by poison, in the end Mithridates died by the sword of his bodyguard. With Zenobia in charge of Musia, it became once more a peaceful part of the Roman province of Asia Minor. With her focus on trade and strong ties to the neighboring regions, her people enjoyed a period of great prosperity. Without the leadership of Damianos, the rebellion of his gladiators soon spiraled out of control, beginning what became known as the Servile War. Escaped slaves terrorized the Roman citizens throughout Thracia until the wealthy senator Crassus brutally defeated them and crucified thousands along the road towards Rome. Lunia's death sent Nazarmanes spiraling into a fractious conflict as greedy elders from minor tribes attempted to fill the void her passing had left behind. Though Queen Cleopatra attempted to bring the region under control, her attentions were too divided, the conflict too great for her to manage. Rome was forced to send more legions to enforce peace and stability with an iron fist. Though Africa Proconsularis eventually saw peace again, the traditions and culture of the Berber population were lost forever. Queen Cleopatra Philopator was, from the day of her coronation, a greatly beloved Queen of Egypt. Revered and admired by the population, she spent many of her days traveling up and down the Nile to visit her subjects and address their troubles and concerns. Under her rule, Egypt remained a powerful and prosperous nation and a strong ally of Rome. The fruits of the Nile flowed freely to the people of the Republic. After traveling all across Africa for many years, going wherever her instincts took her, Rhea eventually returned to Memphis and to the service of Tener at the Temple of Ubasti. When her mentor passed away, Rhea naturally assumed the mantle as High Priestess of the Cat Goddess. Though the old faith was dwindling, she was greatly beloved by many, and her temple prospered, always home to many cats. With Dioteuchus once more assuming rulership of the Aedui, the tribe maintained a strong alliance with Rome, and through it, they greatly prospered. With the aid of the Aedui, Gallia slowly unified under Roman rule, and civilization soon began to creep into those lands in the form of paved roads, aqueducts, and fortified Roman towns. In his old age, did the Druid ever regret hastening the absorption and suppression of his own faith and culture? We will never know. The defeat and death of Vercingetorix had reduced the once mighty Awerni tribe to a myriad bickering chieftains. Without his vision, his charisma, and his resolve, there was no unifying figure to rally around, and no way for Gallia to resist their slow but inevitable assimilation into Rome. Perhaps if Vercingetorix had lived, some of their culture or religion might have survived in some form. But surely they must be grateful that civilization at last was brought to their lands. In this work, I have done my best to recount the history of this fascinating period, truthfully and accurately. As I have scoured the sources and spoken to many who claimed to have heard the story from someone who was there at the time, one thing that has stood out to me is the pivotal moments along the way where our story could have turned out very differently. Could the Republic have continued without an emperor? I believe so, if the legatus had been willing to make the necessary sacrifices. But it is clear that the personal cost would have been great, as would the risk to the highly troubled Republic in the absence of leadership. In many ways, Rome was already an empire in want of an emperor. One should always take care when second-guessing historical figures with the benefit of hindsight. Here in the present, there will never truly be a way for you to know how you might have acted if you had lived in the past. Nor can you ever be certain how history will remember you.